Is the open road the only path left for a generation priced out of permanence? As the familiar markers of a settled life, a stable job, a home of one's own, recede over the horizon, alternative ways of living have begun to surface. Not eccentric choices, but pragmatic responses. This essay will explore emerging lifestyles, co-living spaces, van life, digital nomad. We will journey through modern Britain's landscapes and ask why these ideas grip the Millennial and Gen Z imagination. Are these sustainable solutions or temporary shelters from a gathering storm? To understand this shifting terrain, we must first map its key features. Let us begin with co-living, a concept that reimagines communal living for the modern age. Co-living involves residents renting an individual private bedroom, often quite small, while sharing expansive communal areas. Kitchens, lounges, workspaces, gyms, cinemas. These spaces are typically managed, bills, cleaning, maintenance all included in a single monthly payment. In the United Kingdom, purpose-built co-living blocks are emerging. London, Manchester, marketed as a hassle-free, community-focused alternative to the often isolating experience of renting a room in a shared house. Next, we turn to the most visually iconic of these trends, van life. This is the practice of living full-time or part-time in a converted vehicle, typically a panel van, sometimes a larger bus or a smaller camper. It represents a radical departure from stationary living, embracing mobility as its core principle. The van becomes a tiny, rolling home, containing a bed, a small kitchen, and often a workspace. Its inhabitants are drawn by the promise of profound freedom, the ability to follow the seasons, chase work, or simply explore the country's hidden corners without being tied to a rental agreement. While the upfront cost of purchasing and converting a van can be significant, the dramatic reduction in monthly outgoings is a powerful incentive for those crushed by the cost of conventional housing. The allure of these alternative lifestyles is undeniable, built on a foundation of tangible benefits. The most significant, of course, is financial. For a young professional in London, a room in a co-living space can be considerably cheaper than renting a studio apartment, with the added bonus of all-inclusive bills and no surprise costs. For the van dweller, the financial liberation is even more profound. Once the initial investment in the vehicle is made, monthly outgoings can plummet to just a few £100s. Fuel, food, insurance. This saved income can be redirected towards paying off debt, building savings, funding the travel itself. Beyond cost, there is the powerful appeal of community. Co-living is explicitly designed to combat the urban loneliness that plagues so many, creating ready-made social networks. While these alternative lifestyles offer a lifeline to some individuals, their broader impact on the UK's housing crisis is far more complex and ambiguous. In some ways, they can be seen as a pressure valve, relieving a small amount of demand from the overheated rental markets in major cities. Every person who moves into a van or leaves the country to work remotely is one less person competing for a flat in Bristol or Brighton. Co-living, its proponents argue, increases housing density by accommodating more people in a single building than traditional flats would, making more efficient use of scarce urban land. However, there is a significant risk that these trends act as a cosmetic fix that masks the severity of the underlying disease. Rather than forcing a confrontation with the systemic failures in housing policy, they provide a convenient escape route for a privileged few. Ultimately, the growth of these lifestyles highlights a colossal failure of public policy. The real solution lies in policy change, a massive expansion of social housing, radical planning reform, a fundamental rebalancing of the economy to favor secure homes over speculative investment. Develop clear national standards for co-living to make it safe and fair. Create a humane approach to nomadic living. Sanctioned low-cost overnight sites with basic facilities.